So the main downside to choosing the Giants as my main franchise team this year is that as my favorite team, I'm not really able to rebuild them for a long time. Here we are, it's mid-March, I haven't done a Giants rebuild yet, and they made some big-time moves. Traded for Darren Waller, signed Bobby Okereke, signed Paris Campbell, re-signed Darius Slayton. A lot of big-time moves for the Giants, and none bigger financially than bringing back Daniel Jones on a big 4-year extension worth $40 million per year. It is a massive commitment by the Giants, and let's hope it works out. So the main downside to actually starting from the start of the 2022 season, which is what we have to do when you load in a custom roster, unfortunately, and when you do the real life roster, yeah, you can jump into the offseason right to Super Bowl week, but you can't actually import a custom roster. So this one wouldn't start with Darren Waller and Paris Campbell and Bobby Okereke. It would be a completely different team with different ages and a whole different bunch of variables going on, which would be a little bit annoying. There's no real good way to do it until Madden 24 comes out. So we are stuck at the start of the 2022 season, but there have been some big additions made to this Giants team. And Darren Waller is the biggest of them all, if he stays healthy. That's a big question. He's been plagued by injuries the past couple of seasons, but when he is healthy, he is definitely a top 5 tight end in the league, but that's a big question. We really haven't seen him at that level in roughly 2 years. And in the Josh McDaniels offense, as opposed to the John Gruden offense, he stepped back a little bit as well. Injuries certainly didn't help, but I'm really excited about his potential with Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka. I think he could be incredibly productive, and if he stays healthy, this is wide receiver 1 for the Giants, right? He is going to be the featured target I would expect for Big Blue, and that's not a bad thing. It happened with the Raiders, and their offense was pretty good. The Giants are kind of going like receiver by committee with Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell, Isaiah Hodgins, and Wan'Dale Robinson when he's healthy, recovering from a big-time injury. So Darren Waller is going to have to be the guy. And of course, you also got Saquon Barkley, which is a huge, huge pickup. Now, he's wearing Matt Breida's 31 for some reason. Don't know why that's true. But we're going to go ahead and change that back because it's upsetting me to look at it. I mean, you can see 26 behind me here and behind me there. I need it fixed. Daniel Jones, though, is going to be the big question mark. Can we build around him? 75 overall. Only normal development. I don't love the look, but we are going to try and do our best to develop him. Otherwise, I will look for a quarterback. I'll try to rock out with him for at least a year or two, though. And then Okereke is going to move to inside linebacker because that's what he's going to play for the Giants. It still will remain a need, and Azeez Ojulari can stay on the outside. The biggest areas of need for this team, though, wide receiver still will be one of them. Honestly, with this particular team in Madden, quarterback, certainly. So I'm not going to shy away from that down the line. It just might end up being something that happens. Ben Bredeson, Mark Lewinsky, we're going to have to improve the interior of the offensive line. And Solomon Kindley is a guard, by the way, that I guess is going to be playing center for us. The star dev tells me that maybe we can get away with that, and he is listed at center. But interior O-line needs to be better. And then defensively, it's inside linebacker, even with Okereke. It's potentially safety with no Julian Love. And even with Julian Love, it is interior defensive line. We need to get Raheem Nunez-Roches. And boundary corner. Those are the big needs. And we got Raheem Nunez-Roches. What an addition to the squad. Giants did sign him in real life, but the roster creator, I guess, kind of forgot about Raheem, which is disrespectful. He is a run-stuffing nose tackle, and I think this is going to let us kick Dexter Lawrence out to defensive end, which in a 3-4, that's essentially where he can be very good. He's really thrived playing over, head up on the center, but in-game, he's going to work best for us at 3 tech, which is going to be defensive end. Or really 3-2-5 tech. So that's 4-eye, that's just regular 5 tech. So things are going to change. In Madden, it's essentially is going to be literally the 3 because they do the rush defensive tackle thing, which means that it's basically set up like a 4-3 sometimes in the game. We will rock with the team, though, and simulate to the midseason mark. Now, the troubling thing when you're doing these offseason rebuilds, as I mentioned, is you're really SOL when it comes to the whole draft cycle. So it's like, do we actually want to use a real draft class with CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Anderson, whoever the Giants might be targeting at the back end of the first round? Well, if you do that, the years get wonky, and you can't just simulate to the end of 2022, because then every contract for every team, every player gets screwed up, every age gets advanced further. And am I going to really set up, 20 hours into editing each age, each contract, each development trait if I were to simulate a year? It's just not practical. So we're just kind of at the mercy of the game, unfortunately. And we are 0-7 at the midseason mark. Okay. Don't love that. So I will be doing, the realistic rebuilds with the real draft classes. But for some of these, it's just easier to hop in with the already made team. And I think a lot of what we're going to do is going to come after the draft. We know which players on which team. We're able to jump in at 2022 and pretend it's 2023 and everything's fine. But for right now, in that intermediary period over the next month and a half or so, things are going to be a little bit weird when it comes to the rebuilds. But 0-7 for 2023 is not exactly something I would expect for the Giants. I mean, maybe a couple of years ago, sure, I'd be like, all right, 0-7. I've seen 0-4 for sure, seen some real bad records, but 0-7's pretty rough. Currently at the bottom of the NFC East, as you wouldn't be surprised to see with that type of a record. And we'll go ahead and choose the national focus position for our head scout here. They are looking at quarterback, and as you can see, the strengths of this class are corner, quarterback, and wide receiver, both three big positions of need for this Giants team. If there's an unbelievable quarterback, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I'll hesitate. I'm not saying it's like an Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, who's going to be a Jet, it looks like, but Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love thing. But if there's an unbelievable quarterback prospect that I can have sit for a year or two behind Daniel Jones and then be an absolute stud, I'm going to do it. I don't know how I could pass on, a generational quarterback prospect if there were one, so I can keep Daniel Jones. I just don't know how that could happen. Cameron Battles is somebody I'd look at. Great to elite throw power. Decent enough accuracy. I'll look over all of this here, and we'll figure out the best course of action. I mean, even Curtis Green, North Carolina. I like that. You guys may or may not know the Giants had a pretty good defensive player from North Carolina back in the day by the name of Lawrence Taylor. Maybe you've heard of him. This is a phenomenal athlete with A power moves, A play rec, A tackle. And I say phenomenal because great to elite acceleration, good to great speed. This guy's not small. 6'5", 270, only 21 years old. This is Trayvon Walker with a more polished skill set. I am incredibly interested. And starting off 0-7 suddenly doesn't seem so bad if we could get a player of his caliber. And does anyone notice? I feel like I'm screaming. I feel like I'm yelling. Am I being loud? It's possible. All right, I found a big, look at this old chunk of coal. 6'3", 354. A tackling. He's going to have star better development, I would say. Probably star. Now, he doesn't do much of the whole moving type thing, but he is strong, which means he's my nose tackle, and he is worth a mid-round pick. I was really hoping for some good value at center down the board. Usually you can find those in the draft. I'm not really seeing any. So, unfortunate. Joey Bishop, you know what? He actually is a really good athlete. Just, can he pass block? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. We'll look at him. All right, this tight end actually looks... He's our next Darren Waller. Great tool acceleration and speed and jumping. Good to great everything else. A catch in traffic. 6'3", 241. So maybe not quite Darren Waller. Good route running as well. Clyde Rivers. I like that. We have some talent in this draft. We do. We are going to become a better team one way or another. So Saquon Barkley is going to be a very interesting re-signing / extension for us, which it means the same thing. If you guys didn't know, that's some inside lingo for you. Re-signing and an extension is the same thing. Saquon Barkley has been franchise tagged in real life. It's always really dangerous to extend running backs, give them that second contract. It's just not a position that holds up too well in the NFL, and we know Saquon has struggled with injuries a little bit. But in the game, Man, is he good. And in real life, too, when he's healthy, by the way, which he was for 2022. He was awesome. Love Saquon, if you couldn't tell. But I am going to extend him anyway. It's okay. The Giants have a ton of money in 2024, even if they've allocated a lot of their 2023 cap. Jamie Gillen doesn't want to be here. We'll look to extend him, though, anyway. Big-time punter back. The Scottish Hammer. And, I mean, the rest, we're going to cool on for right now. And, I don't know. 0-7, you guys are going to call me crazy. Not the start I was looking or hoping for. And I'm going to simulate to week 11. Do the, focus scouting for a couple of players I'm interested in. Including that, what looks to be stud at number 1 overall. As we win our first game, thankfully. And maybe our second against the Texans here in week 10. And we do. 2-7. And a breakout, potentially? Man, what a day. We have the quarterbacks all the way scouted right now. Riley Thigpen is the best of them. Improviser out of Iowa. I'll tell you something. Iowa quarterback scares me with their recent offenses. But he could be something. Good athlete, even if he's not the fastest. Good quarterback, which I like. What's the scouting report say? Calculated risks, great spiral, aware of pressure, does well to avoid sacks. Oh, he's going to be a beast. He is 23, don't really care. Maybe a relation of Tyler Thigpen, what a monster. We're not going to do any focus scouting on him because we don't need to. But if we were to go quarterback, Riley Thigpen is the guy. But I'm not sure that we're going to go that direction. Curtis Green is so good that I don't really think I need to scout him more. This is a player I would take at number 1. Lamar Cummings we'll look at. Could have something there. And there's a couple of linebackers I like too. Jaleel McCullers and maybe it's just him. Let's look at Clyde Rivers also. There are some good players in this class. I don't think we're going to be able to take all of them, unfortunately. But if we can get in position for, at least the best player in the draft, which we're going to be able to, even if we improve and end up with 6 or 7 wins, we probably won't have much trouble trading up to number 1 if we have to do that. And it'll just be a little bit difficult to get back into the first round for maybe the tight end or the linebacker. And you got to remember in these, it's not just about right now. We have Darren Waller. That's awesome. But if there's a monster tight end that's going to be available, Darren Waller's not going to be here forever. We got to prepare for beyond that. And, just like the Packers did with Jordan Love, if you see the guy that you think can be a franchise player for you at a certain position, regardless of who you have at the moment, sometimes you got to draft that player. For better or for worse. It doesn't always work out, but in the case of Aaron Rodgers, they obviously got one of the best quarterbacks of all time. And they were replacing one of the best quarterbacks of all time. It's a little bit different at that position than opposed to tight end, clearly. But if the Chiefs took a tight end at the back end of the first round this year, I wouldn't really be all that surprised. Travis Kelce's a monster, could continue to be for the next couple of years, but what about after that? CPU told me that Trent Norris could be somebody we could consider looking at. Well, I am unimpressed. He is a fine athlete and isn't really all that good at playing receiver. And you want me to take him in the 2nd or 3rd round. I would love for any of those little moments to matter even one time. They never do. It's always, hey, would you want to scout a borderline undraftable player further? No, I wouldn't. Playoff time, we did actually get up to 6 wins. And yeah, obviously, we're not going to be taking part in the playoffs, unfortunately. It is what it is. Daniel Jones, what an inspiring season. 24 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. Saquon Barkley was fantastic, though. Almost 5.5 yards per carry. 14 touchdowns, over 1,600 yards. What a season. Sterling Shepard, hold on a second. Put up 1,600 yards. Is wide receiver 1 in the Giants offense cracked? Unreal. Darren Waller was pretty good. We're going to go KC playbook and maximize him, by the way. Paris Campbell had a good year. Darius Slayton was all right. And then defensively, Micah McFadden led the team in tackles, and I didn't move Okereke to middle linebacker. Oh, he would have been our sub linebacker anyway, so he still played a ton, but it likely impacted Azeez Ojulari a little bit. Put up 4.5 sacks. He just didn't play as much as he would have otherwise. But he still was a rush end, so he still did play. Only 5 sacks for Thibodeau, but what a season for Dexter Lawrence. 17.5 sacks, 17 tackles for loss. But the most impressive number might be 75 tackles total, playing as an interior defensive lineman. Could have had more interceptions. The defense is going to change. Offense is going to change. Okereke is going to move to his natural position. Again, he was a sub linebacker anyway, so he still played a ton, as you saw. But the things weren't set up exactly how I wanted. Bills beat the Packers in the Super Bowl. I think Aaron Rodgers probably would have been their starting quarterback, although it would be awesome if it was Jordan Love. Josh Allen won MVP, although Deion Jones won Super Bowl MVP. The Rams, with Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald, take home Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year. And then George Pickens and Aiden Hutchinson grab Defensive and Offensive Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, Thibodeau did not do enough to get that one. But we don't really have a whole lot to do here in terms of re-signing players or in free agency, really, because I think, well, I guess I don't know with the roster. Maybe this is going to be 2024 free agents, or more probably, it's just going to be nobody. That's probably what's going to happen. There's probably going to be basically no free agent worth signing. Raheem is regressing. We'll let him go. Wyatt Davis. What's the point? And yeah, free agency is a weird mix. A lot of kickers, a lot of punters in here. Jason Verrett. So it is like 2023 free agents, but is Adrian Amos a free agent this year? I think he is, right? Yes, he is. So this is basically just guys that were either cut in the case of Ezekiel Elliott, and Byron Jones, I think, was released as well, or actually unsigned 2023 free agents. So that's all right. We're not really going to be doing anything. We do have quite a bit of money right now, and here is why. Daniel Jones' contract was not adjusted. Well, let me go handcuff my entire team. Man, isn't that fun? Oh, man, that is a large contract. Well, morale's kind of affecting the team negatively at the moment. Hate to see that. But you'd expect that on a 6-win team. 6-11. However, we go into the draft with momentum. Why is that? Nope, just kind of made that up, huh? Somehow Cameron Battles got better, by the way. Or somebody got worse, because he was round 1 to 2, I want to say. And now all of a sudden he's round 1? How does that work? Also, this tight end looks pretty awesome. Those are just 4 A's. Okay, so we actually pick at number 10 overall, which is a little bit further back than I would have preferred. I think Curtis Green's going to be real good. I think the value is going to be there. Great athlete, great size, great ability. I think we should move up. Now, if we do that, that makes it a little bit more difficult to draft a quarterback, which I think I'm just going to pass on anyway. Like, they are probably quite good. No argument there. But we're going to rock out with Daniel Jones for a little bit longer. And then Clyde Rivers from Oklahoma, I think, is a beast. This guy's a phenomenal athlete with great skills. I mean, dude, this looks like the perfect tight end prospect. A, awareness. A, medium route running. B, pass block. A, catch in traffic. A, catching. A, deep route running. A, run block. A, run block finesse. B, short route running. B, spectacular catch. This is a monster tight end. That's my next Darren Waller. I got to get that guy. So how do we get him? And then we might pass on the linebacker. I know linebacker's a need for me, but I just, you know what? He's a little bit further down the board than I thought. Only deep pursuit is a little bit troublesome to me, but very good athlete. And it seems like there are a lot of them. Elite speed, but he's the 4th fastest, apparently. Good coverage. I like the block shed. I like the tackle. Just pursuit is a little bit low for me. But the talent in this class, I think, is so good that I would be willing to trade a next year's first and kind of figure it out from there. Now, the Seahawks have 2 top 3 picks. That's pretty absurd. Where is our pick projected to be next year? Number 5. That's going to be used. We might keep 10 and look to trade 5. Okay, we are trading projected number 5 overall next year, a 4th and a 3rd next year. So 1, a 3, and a 4 to move up to number 1 from number 10. Well, projected number 5, actually, I should say. We keep number 10 in this class, and I'm going to be drafting a defensive end at number 1, and then the tight end, hopefully, at number 10. If he is off the board before me, we'll trade down and try to get a first-round pick next year, probably. But Curtis Green's going to be the pick. Not exactly the next Lawrence Taylor, just the profile is very different. However, the North Carolina defensive end connection is tough to ignore, even though LT was an outside linebacker, but you get a pass rusher. Julius Peppers, another great UNC player as well. But Curtis Green's going to be the guy here. Welcome to the Giants. Hidden development, 85 strength, 83 speed, 91 acceleration. I think the ability is going to be quite good as well. Plus, he's only 21 years old. He's going to slide in perfectly at defensive end. Dexter Lawrence back to defensive tackle. Leonard Williams stays at defensive end as well. We have a couple of great outside linebackers who are continuing to develop. I think we just had to stick with best player available there. And he was worth trading up for, in my opinion. Whether that ends up being true or not long term, who knows? We'll find out after the draft. But that move to me had to be made. And there is a quarterback who's good available at this spot. Has a cannon of an arm. But I said I'm not taking a QB. Man. He seems like he's pretty good, though. But I'm not taking a QB. I'm not doing it. The tight end is still available. I mean, both quarterbacks are there. No, I'm really... Oh, gosh. Do the Lions potentially want to trade up for this pick? Maybe the Patriots? The Jets would give me a first-round pick next year. But I don't want to do that. I want a first-round pick this year. Now, it's very tough to trade down only a couple of spots. They usually won't even give you any value for doing it, which is why I take... I don't necessarily take pride or not pride, but I don't take any, disappointment or shame, I should say, in cheesing the CPU a little bit. They do it back, okay? So we're going to trade down a couple spots here with the Patriots, who need a quarterback. It's their second team need. If I can get a second-round pick back, I'd be thrilled. That's not going to quite happen. Maybe a second-round pick next year. I'd be really happy with this trade. We might be able to get something out of this. Okay, we are trading number 10 back to 12. Matt Pert on the move to the Patriots who need tackle. We are getting number 12 and number 53 projected next year. Hopefully it's higher than that. That would be nice for me. But I'm okay. The Patriots take a tackle instead of a quarterback. And the Lions take a corner. I think with this pick, though, I am going to take the tight end. Even with the quarterback still on the board, I've committed to it. I think we're making the right move here. Clyde Rivers, also only 21 years old. We're going to figure out a way to get all these tight ends involved. Clyde Rivers, normal development. How is that possible? 88 speed, 91 acceleration. I mean, he looks like he's a beast, but normal dev? Really? No one is drafting these quarterbacks, man. It is pick 16. The quarterbacks are still on the board. They are still on the board. Jags shouldn't take one. The Chargers aren't going to take one. The Eagles aren't going to take one. Maybe the Raiders is going to be the first quarterback spot here. There goes Riley Thigpen, probably the better of the two in my opinion, despite both having round 1 talent grades on them. This QB might fall until, I don't know, Atlanta maybe? I'm not trading up. I'm not trading up. There goes another quarterback. Commanders could also take one. They go with a guard. Titans could be in the market for a QB. There goes Cameron Battles at 31 there, or 30 there. Johnny Hale at 31. And at 32, Jaleel McCullers, the guy that I was considering targeting, is taken before I can even consider trading up. Maybe for the best. I take a center here. Agile. Great athlete, very strong as well. I don't really know about him as a blocker, though. Obviously, A impact, A lead block, strong. I don't really know about the pass block and the run block here. Round 1 to 2 talent, also young. Definitely makes me want to consider that. You know what? I think the value makes sense. We're going to go Joey Bishop here, try to improve the interior of our offensive line. Does have hidden dev. and is a freak athlete at the position. 90 strength, 85 acceleration, 74 speed. A rare combination. And is also, as I mentioned, only 21 years old. I think that was a pretty good pick. Round 3, don't pick again until the 5th, and then not until the 7th. We're going to make this pick count, hopefully. I think it's going to be Spencer Mobley. I talked about wanting to get him at nose tackle. I think I'm going to do it. So we are going to stick and pick here. Spencer Mobley from Washington State. Took a Washington center. How about a Washington State nose tackle to play against him in practice? He's a one-trick pony. He's very strong, tackles well, and really only normal development. I was convinced he was going to have hidden for sure. Great acceleration for a guy this big, though. 94 strength. That's very surprising. And we'll take a corner here. Ruben Aldridge, I think, is good value for day 3. Only 21 years old. Another player from the West. Is the fastest corner in the class. Why not, right? C man coverage, B press. Those are good. D zone coverage, not so good. But this is great value down the board. And you can see the athletic ratings are fantastic. And the mutton chops might be even better. Ruben Aldridge, good value down the board. And that will end our draft. Draft recap. I think we did pretty well. Time to find out exactly how well that is. And all in all, I'm pretty happy about it. Aldridge is only a 68. Mobley at 71 is fine. Would have been better with hidden dev. 73 for Joey Bishop means he's a starting center right away. And a scheme fit. Blocking's not so bad. We took a shot on him, and I think it worked out. So Joey Bishop's going to be good here. And then Clyde Rivers is a 76 overall rookie tight end. Very good, but only normal development is crazy. The route running is good for a tight end. Run blocking is good for a tight end. Athletically, very good. It's just like spectacular catch is a little bit low. It's not like elite status. It's just fine. I'm shocked that he only has normal dev. And then Curtis Green might be the best player in the draft. Definitely does not have normal dev. Is not going to wear Michael Strahan's 92. But when you don't factor in his morale right now, being like, oh man, the Giants, what's going on? Why did you draft me? 79 power moves, 77 finesse moves. Obviously a fantastic athlete. 77 block shed's good. And he is already in the top 12% of right ends in the league. Pretty incredible for someone that has never played a snap. 95. Strong number. And he was the highest overall player in the class. Kerry Albert was somebody I looked at. Albert, 77. Stephen Murray, 77. Mike Rutland, 77. A couple of receivers in there. We didn't do so bad, man. I mean, Rivers is a top 5 talent in the entire draft. Got him at 12. I think that's fine. What about the quarterbacks, though? The quarterbacks is where I'm interested. I guess maybe it just wasn't a super awesome class. Cameron Battles only has normal development. Does look good, though. So I would have been pleased with that, but it's basically Daniel Jones if they're old enough. And then Thigpen is also a 74 overall. Does have hidden development, though. Looks to be a little bit more well-rounded. Also a good athlete. He definitely would have been the choice for me. But 23 years old, I guess you do risk normal development as well. So it's like, how far is that from Daniel Jones? Only star dev. I'm happy with my decision to stick with Daniel Jones for now and get a better team around him. I think 2024 here, which is really 2025, is going to go better for us. No, it's 2023, which is really 2024. I think it's going to go better for us. We're going to make a couple of philosophical changes on offense and defense. That's going to help us be a lot more successful. So this is the team. Going to start Tyree Phillips at left guard. The drafted center Bishop's going to start at center. You know, receiver is still not great, but we've talked about Sterling Shepard. It is, you know, not a long-term thing. Despite him having an insane 2022, he's still under contract somehow for 2023 and 2024. Did I extend Sterling Shepard and forget about it? Surely not. I don't know what's going on in real life, but I'm gonna correct that to being on the final year of his deal. We'll at least now have to make a decision about whether or not to retain Sterling Shepard, Paris Campbell, Isaiah Hodgins here. The weird thing is Rivers, right? I expected him to be really, really good. He's going to start at fullback for us, which means we spent a top pick on a fullback. He's going to develop at tight end. He's going to be into the 80s. within probably a couple of seasons. So he's going to be a really good option for us. So in the event that Darren Waller regresses as I expect, we're going to have an easy replacement. And yeah, we probably shouldn't have spent that top pick on him in hindsight, but also thought he was going to be like a superstar, and he's only got normal dev, unfortunately. Linebacker's got to be improved, but the defensive line looks excellent. Leonard Williams will continue to get worse, but I think drafting Curtis Green was the right move. Best player in the class. Really, really good player. 79 power rusher and speed rusher with 78 run stop. Really well balanced, really good. You know, not generational by any means, but one of the better defensive end prospects that I've seen in Madden 23, period. You just don't really see that many amazing ones, unfortunately. But I think I'm going to leave the scouts as is. Still going to at least look at quarterback, even if we need to improve. Interior offensive line first. Quarterback, obviously we talked about wide receiver, inside linebacker, potentially still defensive line, you know, with Leonard Williams regressing, and then corner. Terrell Burgess starting at free safety is a little bit weird. I moved Xavier McKinney over to strong safety, which I still feel like is a really good natural fit for him, like kind of more of the role he played at Alabama. I think the team's going to be better. The playbook should be better, but the 3-4 defenses in the game are always pretty up or down. We'll have to see. And we are still bottom of the NFC East here. 3-3, though, is not the worst. The players that we're going to have to negotiate with, though, are Sterling Shepard, Dexter Lawrence, who doesn't want to be here. What are his motivations? He wants someone who wins more, and the record of Brian Daboll here is only 39% because it doesn't factor in what actually happened in the 2022 NFL season. A little bit unfortunate there, and he wants to play for a contender. So he's going to be really, really expensive unless we start to turn things around here. So I'm going to wait on Dexter Lawrence, and I think franchise tagging him would also make a ton of sense. Andrew Thomas doesn't like the offense, but that's going to be an effective offense for him to be in. We might wait on him as well. Again, we can get a little bit creative with how we bring these guys back. Adoree Jackson, I definitely want to be here. How about a 4-year deal, up the money a little bit, and Adoree Jackson's here for the rest of his prime. I mean, we have big free agents. No real way around it. $100 million still to work with. Kindley's going to be a question mark. Bredesen, no. Darnay Holmes, maybe. Terrell Burgess. Terrell Burgess is probably a yes. Now, I don't think Terrell Burgess is as good in real life as he's represented in the game, and I'm basing that on otherwise he would not have been cut in November by the Rams and then signed to the Giants practice squad. So he's likely going to look very different in Madden 23. But for me right now, this is a player I want to have. 24 years old, star dev, near an 80 overall. I would want to bring him back on a pretty big extension, and he could be our starting safety for the foreseeable future. Xavier McKinney, I definitely want to bring back for the same reasons, but is better. And we could potentially wait on him. It's just, do I think we're going to turn it around in the second half here? The answer is yes. The answer is definitely yes. So I'm going to wait on the guys that I think we can sign for cheaper because I think they're going to want to be here more. Leonard Williams is just a little bit more expensive than I would like. I think I'm comfortable with this offer. Otherwise, we're going to be in a tough spot. He wants a bigger deal, and I'm just not convinced I can do that. As risky as it is, we are going to play the waiting game big time with some of these players. Now, unfortunately, the strengths of this class are things that we don't need. Left tackle, right tackle, and halfback. And I will say, halfback is usually not a position you actually see in there. I'm going to take a look at the class and probably not assign my focus scout to any of those positions. I'll tell you, it's going to be quarterback or something else, and then not get them as scouted as we want, unfortunately. As you may remember, I do not have a first-round pick this year, but I do have 2 seconds and a first next year. Not really a ton of players I'd like to trade right now. The only thing I can think of is, with currently being 3-3 and some other receivers who are very comparable to our best in Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard is somebody that I could see being a trade deadline trade here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and get a second round pick in return, which I think I'm going to be able to. So I'll just find the right spot, and I think the Falcons will be that right spot. Give me a 2 and a 4 for Sterling Shepard. If not, I'll settle for just a 2, and I can throw in a late round pick if necessary, and it is. And I'll give them a 6. I think the 7 maybe would have made it go through, but we'll give them a little bit more value to take on Sterling Shepard's contract as they look to make a playoff run. I probably should trade Leonard Williams. I don't really want to, though. We're still trying to be good. Leonard Williams helps us be good for right now. And, we can figure it out at the end of this season. And we're 6-3 now. Sterling Shepard was a locker room cancer, apparently, even though it's the exact opposite in real life, as Owen Burris is a top 5 talent at QB. And we are not even going to be close to able to take him. So, I don't know what to do with that information. And we actually are in a fantastic spot. 11-6. What happened? 3-3 to 11-6? I guess it's not that crazy. I guess. But, you start as a 500 team, lose to the Rams by a touchdown, double digits to the Eagles, double digits to the Commanders, also in division, got crushed by the Bills, and then suddenly you were one of the best teams in football, only losing 2 games beyond that thrashing at Buffalo. It's good football. And one of our losses was only by a point to Seattle, although we got crushed by the Cowboys. I am worried about how we're going to fare in the playoffs here, considering how we've done against our division rivals across this season. That's a little bit troubling, but Daniel Jones took a step up. Maybe his player tag's going to go from bridge quarterback to something else, because he played well and has star development. Did he have star? He definitely did not have star last time I checked. There's no way Daniel Jones had star at the start of this year. How did he get star dev? How do you just get it? I don't know. I'm not complaining, though. That actually makes it so that Daniel Jones might be an option for us. Did throw 15 interceptions, but the touchdowns and the yardage, I think, outweigh that. Saquon was still great. 1,400 yards, 5 per carry, 16 touchdowns. And receiving, Darren Waller did what I said he should do, which is be our main target. Over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Darius Slayton also found the end zone 9 times as well. He's looking more and more like a long-term option for us. I think he's probably a wide receiver 3 on quite a few teams, but that's kind of what the Giants have rocking right now. Paris Campbell over 900 yards as well. Isaiah Hodgins was okay in his role, which was the 4th option on the team. Not too bad. Bobby Okereke with over 100 tackles, 6 for loss, and Kayvon Thibodeau had 18 for loss. What a year from him. 8 sacks as well. Also had a pick. But Curtis Green, the rookie, put up 15.5 sacks, tied for the team lead with Dexter Lawrence. Awesome rookie season, 12 TFLs for him as well. And then interceptions, 3 for Dory Jackson. Kind of 1 or 2 spread out between the rest of the team. And I would say we're probably looking at the offensive player of the year in Saquon Barkley, and we are, and the defensive rookie of the year in Curtis Green, and we are. Good stuff from the team. So we might see dev trait increases. Still don't know the dev trait actually of our rookies. I expect the center is going to have star dev. That's usually what that is. He has superstar. Well, I'll be damned. All right, I've never been so happy to be wrong. Superstar dev, you don't really see that for centers very often, or even offensive linemen. Sometimes we just drafted a superstar dev, a tackle in one of the last rebuilds I did. But Bishop here with superstar is going to end up being a huge get for our offensive line in general. So really not mad about that at all. And then defensively, I expect star now because we did get a superstar. I'm sure Curtis Green's going to be a disappointing star, even as the best player in the class, and that is exactly the case. Now, I'd usually guess that he would have had superstar and the center had star, but it is the other way around. And we do actually have the benefit of home field advantage here against Seattle, who is a similarly rated team to us at an 83 overall, although we look to be better than them. with a better offense and significantly, well, maybe not significantly, slightly better defense at an 85 overall compared to their 83. And I think we're going to be in a good spot. Now, we did lose to Seattle in the last week of the season, but I'm going to take you all the way back to 2007. The Giants played the New England Patriots in the last week of the season. Patriots finished undefeated in the regular season. The Giants rematched that team in the playoffs, and you'll never guess what happened. Super Bowl, we lost. Well, oh man, it was really setting up to be awesome. It was going to be a great story. Unfortunately, not. But that's okay. That's okay. Giants won the Super Bowl that year. We're still at it, looking for that Super Bowl win. In order to do so, it's going to be important to bring back Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas. And these players will not be cheap, contrary to popular belief. No, everyone knows. Dexter Lawrence is going to be really expensive. Andrew Thomas is going to be really expensive. The Rams actually beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Never seen that before. Joe Burrow wins MVP. The quarterback Riley Thigpen of the Raiders wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. And you can see the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year. It's that Jonathan Taylor, of course, for the AFC. But Curtis Green is the one who's shown for the NFC for Defensive Rookie of the Year. My face cam may have been covering it. But that is an awesome addition for us. I'm sure Curtis Green's going to move up to superstar development as a result. He also has a skill point as well. Is he superstar now? He is. That's one of the best additions they've made to these recent Maddens. I used to complain about this regularly. You'd have a rookie, oftentimes with normal development, win Offensive or Defensive Rookie of the Year and just stay normal dev. It drove me insane. Go back and watch some of the old rebuilds. It drove me completely insane. And I don't blame myself. I was right. It was well warranted. CPU keeps upgrading his finesse moves. If he can be a finesse pass rusher at 6'5", 270, you know what? Power to him. Or maybe, should I say finesse to him? Nobody like that. All right, that was a bad one. We're going to keep on going. Re-sign players. Should have a little bit more interest now. We have a little bit more money. But again, it's going to go away quickly. Lawrence, Thomas, not going to be cheap. But the interest in Dexter Lawrence has changed. Now he wants to be here as we are a playoff contender. Our win percentage is up to 50%. And Dexter Lawrence is back. Andrew Thomas, however, is not as stoked about the Giants right now. We're going to have to give him a super big offer. And Andrew Thomas has signed a massive extension to stay with the Giants here in New Jersey. Xavier McKinney, like to do a 4-year deal, bring him back as well. So we are keeping a lot of the team together. Leonard Williams, I'd like on about a 2-year contract. He's not going to want to do that. So it's pretty much going to be, do I want to franchise tag him or just pay him a little bit more money or a lot more money than he's looking for? Maybe even a 1-year deal at 18 mil. Is what we're going to settle for. It's a ton of money. It's a ton of money. Don't get me wrong. But contracts continue to get more and more expensive. And that was what was going to have to happen if we were going to keep him. So we bit the bullet. We paid him big time. Giving Darnay Holmes money as well. Keep him in the slot. Kindley can probably walk. Tyree Phillips starts for us. So I don't want him to walk. But he's really, really cheap. Solomon Kindley might be a good player to extend and then at least consider trading at some point. We have money right now, so it's not really a problem. 3-year deal. Solomon Kindley's back. The depth, I would like to tell you, is important, but it doesn't really matter in a simulation. And then Graham Gano, 37-year-old kicker, continuing to regress. We can just draft one or sign one for really cheap, so it doesn't really make sense to extend him, unfortunately. Got a little under 40 mil to spend in free agency. Just trying to look at the team. Darren Waller up to Superstar X Factor. Daniel Jones didn't get an increase. That would have been nice. But he already has star dev now randomly. So not going to complain about that. But Waller up to Superstar X Factor is going to hold off his regression at least a little bit. And I'll give him some random abilities here. Darren Waller could be so good for the Giants. It's really just going to come down to health. And I'm admittedly worried that he's not going to be able to stay healthy. I mean, we saw it with Kenny Golladay, who wasn't great when he was on the field anyway. But, You know, we've seen that story before with a number of different players and a number of different teams. You know, they say the best ability is availability, which I don't agree with. I think the best ability is ability, but you need to also be available on top of that. But I'm available. I'll play on Sundays, but I'm no good. Like, so you need more than availability. There are about 20 guys on an NFL roster that barely play, yet are ready to go every Sunday. Guess what? You need to be more than just available, but you also need to be available too. Green, superstar dev. Kayvon Thibodeau up to superstar as well, so that's nice. Team looking pretty good overall. Again, need to improve. Off-ball linebacker, defensive line potentially. If Jeffrey Simmons is there, I'm going to pay Jeffrey Simmons. Boundary corner, also of need. But the team is definitely getting substantially better. If there is a wide receiver 1 in free agency, show me a Justin Jefferson. Show me a Jalen Waddle. Something like that. And we're going to be happy about it. Mike Evans is too old. That's where I am on that. Too old. Although, Brandon Ayuk is here, as is Michael Pittman Jr., who does want to be here. I am going to offer on Michael Pittman Jr. He's kind of like an upgraded Isaiah Hodgins in a way. If we can get him to New York, I think that's going to be pretty big. Or should I say, New Jersey. 4-year deal's good. I'd like to take the money down a little bit, just so we have a little bit more flexibility. Might end up having to pay more than that, which is going to be unfortunate. Jonah Jackson, not a bad option, but he doesn't really want to be here. All the centers would love to be here. They all want to be on a playoff contending team. Gotta love centers, man. John Runyon Jr. could be good. It's a bit of an upgrade over Mark Lewinsky. He's 27. Yeah, let's get John Runyon Jr. Let's do that. Ooh, okay. There is interest on the D-line. Ed Oliver is the one. I feel like I go after Ed Oliver a lot, but he just usually makes sense for the team. Devin White is in here. Makes sense also. He actually is not all that expensive. And he's a scheme fit. Let's offer Devin White a contract. Let's see what the market is on him. Going back to Louisiana makes a ton of sense for him. Isaiah Simmons is here. That would also make a ton of sense. And he wants to be here, but he also wants to get paid like an outside linebacker, which he really isn't. And he wouldn't be for us either. But Isaiah Simmons with superstar dev is probably the one here. I'm going to go ahead and withdraw on Devin White, get a little bit of money back, and put that all into Isaiah Simmons. He's a little bit more expensive, but I think he's absolutely going to be worth it. And he really, really wants to be a Giant. So I think we're going to be able to make that happen. Boundary corner, Trevon Diggs is here. We just don't really have the money for it right now. Going to have to pass on that. Jeremy Chin would be awesome too, but we're going to have to pass on it. Okay, let's see what we can do. Show me Pittman gone too. Cowboys are in on him. We got Isaiah Simmons. We got John Runyon Jr. Michael Pittman Jr. is not going to be a Giant, which will save money on him, I guess. That's a benefit. Man, look at the Bears go. Justin Herbert and Rashawn Gary. Pittman goes to the Cowboys. Gabe Davis is here. Doesn't really want to be here. I think we're going to hold off on the receivers another year. There is a really interesting receiver option in the draft. He's only about 5'9", but is a deep threat, not a slot receiver necessarily. Deep threat type. I am going to look to save a little bit of money somewhere. Leonard Williams might not be back. You guys got to remember, we don't really have a top pick this year either. We're paying Saquon Barkley a ton, paying Andrew Thomas a ton, paying Daniel Jones quite a lot of money. So much money. Williams is going to be gone probably after this year. Glowinski, I'm going to cut now. Like, we can add him to the trade block. No one's going to want him. And Darren Waller is actually regressing already, which is unfortunate. I know he's 31. Maybe I shouldn't say already. But he just got up to Superstar X Factor. Just had an incredible year. Would have been nice to see him go for a bit longer. We need a kicker also. That's right. Just remember that randomly. But still in a pretty good spot. Let's get Jake Elliott. Steal him from the Eagles. Don't want to pay him that type of money, though. And we got Jake Elliott as well. Sweet. That quarterback's going to be a difference maker. There is a corner at the top of the board, Frank Gary, who's going to be really good. He's got B-man coverage. We know that because his man-to-man archetype, and he has B-zone, so it's got to be B. A-press. Like, he's going to be really good. but it's just not somebody we're even going to be in close to position for. I think Jaden Newsom's going to be the guy that we end up moving up for. Round 1 to 2 projected, probably will move into like the 20s for him and get a pretty good starting wide receiver with a ton of speed. You'll see in a moment. And, there does seem to be some pretty good value down the board. I'm really looking at guards here, but that's a pretty fine position for us. So maybe go a different direction. There are some super talented players in this class. Linebacker, still something I'm looking at. Pass rusher in general, just because Leonard Williams is not going to be here forever. So what we're going to do is just continue to look at all options and hopefully make the right decision in the draft. I usually don't like to take risks and gamble. Like, I only like to draft defensive ends if I know they have finesse or power moves. But sometimes you got to take shots. I took a shot on the center. He ended up having superstar dev. I never draft superstar dev centers. So maybe it's time to reevaluate how we do things. Now, I think that Jaden Newsome is the guy, though. Only 5'9", 185, but A, deep route running, B, release, B, catching traffic. I know D catching looks bad, but it's probably just in the 70s or 80s, low 80s, high 70s. It probably isn't so bad. And he is fast. Ran 4.24 at his pro day, 4.27 at the combine, and I think he's going to be good. Now, does the medium route running at D and a short route running at D and catching at D, does that scare me a little bit? You know what? No, it doesn't. He may be a one-trick pony, but the one trick is good. He's going to be a difference maker for us. And unfortunately, I just have to miss out on some of these players that I think are going to end up being really, really talented. Maybe not quite just Morales. Just isn't the level of athlete that I usually look for. Like, is there a chance I could move up to the middle of the first round? Yeah, maybe. But even Aaron Anderson here. 6'4", 245. Really, really good athlete. Finesse moves is that B to C, which I can't deal with. Kyle Felton, also a good cornerback option. I think if we get to 20 and everyone I want is still on the board, I'll be pretty happy with that. And again, we'll reevaluate. Owen Burris, the quarterback, is the first overall pick. I think Judge is going to be a pretty good player. Terrell Judge, he'll probably be drafted with this pick or the next one. There goes Frank Gary, was the number 1 overall prospect for a minute. Judge still on the board at number 8. And he is gone at number 8. All right, Eagles pick a 20. There goes Kyle Felton, who is a corner I was going to target. Back-to-back corners go off the board. And here is the team that eliminated us from the playoffs. The Seattle Seahawks. The receiver, still very available. Michael Solomon is a linebacker I looked at, but I don't think the value is necessarily there. He does have elite speed. A hit power, A awareness. Coverage is good. Tackling and pursuit is just too low. It's just too low for me, especially when there are some other good linebackers that we don't have to take at that pick. Glenn Duncan is one of them. Round 1 to 2 projection. Good block shed. Same good coverage ability. Hit power is not quite as high, but still a very good athlete. Pursuit is a C. I don't love that. Tackling's a B, though, which is better. And he's only 21. He is an option. And then I have Peter Lewis from Virginia. 6'4", 237. Big linebacker with elite jumping, which doesn't matter in the game. A power moves for a linebacker, but remember, for an inside linebacker, so it's not, 70 or 80. It's probably 65. Looks good, though, for a second or third round pick. We're going to have to make a decision. Also, the Ream. Greg Overeem, another Boise State prospect. One of the linebackers down the board. Round 1 to 2 talent. I mean, you can pencil him in. This is an automatic draft pick. Round 1 to 2 talent with a day 3 projection. I mean, that's phenomenal. I usually never have those guys at 100%, so I don't find those steals. But we found one. Receivers about 12 spots down the board. I don't really think that I can take a chance with a player like that beyond... goes right to the Seahawks. I mean, it's a joke at some points, man. I was going to give it like 2 more picks. I was probably going to look to trade with the Jaguars. He did not make it. Michael Solomon. Seahawks didn't do it again. Took a running back this time. Glenn Duncan not supposed to go for a little while here. 13 spots down the board. I don't really want to have to trade up for any of these guys because we are really, really close to our pick. We pick with the 4th pick in the 2nd round. I just don't know if that player is going to be available, and with every pick, I pucker a little bit. I get a little bit scared that guy's not going to be available. I'm going to trade with the Texans. It's 4 spots. It's not going to be a lot to move up to that spot. We made it to the 2nd round. I am not going to risk it. Now, this player might not be all that. Certainly a possibility, but I am not going to risk it. And that 4th round pick is going to be for that offensive guard that looks pretty good. We're going to trade a 2 and a 5, move up just a few spots here with the Texans, and guarantee the player that I want. Sometimes it's worth it to move up just a little bit to make sure you get who you want. And Glenn Duncan, I think, is going to be the player we take here. Boise State, 6'2", 243, only 21 years old. Looks pretty well-rounded. Good cover player. Really good athlete as well. Love the elite speed. Welcome to the Giants. 90 speed, 89 acceleration, but finally, hidden development. He's going to be a backup for us, so slow down a little bit, because Isaiah Simmons will be starting on the inside alongside Bobby Okereke. But Glenn Duncan's going to be a really good option with the potential to start, and with the departure of Leonard Williams, give us the opportunity to potentially move to a 4-3 defense a year from now. So we're looking to develop him and potentially make him a starter. People, are you traded up for a backup? Don't question my methods. Hugh Phillips is on my board. Good defensive line depth. I mean, ran 4.71 at his pro day. At 305 pounds? Yeah, okay, dude. All right, sure you did. I mean, I'm sure it's going to happen one day, and it's going to look funny. You can go ahead and clip this and then wait for that to happen, if it ever does, and play this right on it, and it's going to look really funny. Wow, what an athlete. What an athlete. Hugh Phillips might be the move. 21 spots down the board. Another linebacker there, too. A round 1 to 2 talent quarterback. Hold on. Things may have changed. Things may have changed. He's got a good arm. Can run pretty well. All right, things have changed. I pick again at about 10 picks. I can wait on that. The Bills want to offer me a first-round pick next year to trade down. Falcons want to give me a first-round pick next year just because. Let's get creative. Let's get creative. That's all I'm going to say. And we got creative. We are trading the number 46 overall pick, a 2nd next year, and a 4th next year to get number 51 this year and a 1st next year from the Ravens, who are expected to pick at the back end of the 1st round. So it ends up being we are trading back a couple of spots and then moving up a couple of spots projected next year. But it's more of a gamble, right? Because it's a 1st round pick still. So we're gambling a little bit, and I think we're about to have a pretty good period in the draft. Hugh Phillips from Arizona State ran 4.71. Block shedding we don't really know about, but is very fast and has a finesse moves. B tackling. Hidden dev. 87 strength is very good. 81 speed probably should be even higher. 80 acceleration. Hugh Phillips has potential to play and maybe is an answer for us at defensive end here in a 3-4. And then, just a few picks later, here in the 2nd round, I am going to draft a quarterback. Justin Riley from Virginia Tech, 6'1", 213, only 22 years old. Doesn't have to start right away. Has great athleticism, a good enough arm, and pretty good accuracy. Justin Riley could be a little bit of a steal for us here, and he might be. Hidden development, 90 throw power, 86 speed, 89 change of direction, 90 acceleration. You know, we didn't have to take a quarterback at number 1 overall, despite how good that prospect looked. We took one at the back end of the 2nd round, and we are looking to be rewarded for that. And then in round 4, oh no, the guard went off the board. He wouldn't have started this year anyway, but that's still a little bit disappointing. We signed John Runyon Jr., but George Bacon, pretty good. We don't need more defensive tackle help, though, in my opinion. At least not from a 4th rounder. I'm going to try and turn this into a 3rd rounder next year. I was going to take the guard. I really obviously was. But unfortunately, didn't work out this time around, which, you know, would have been really nice. He would have been, at the very least, good depth. You don't really need another tight end. I'm not going to talk myself into that one. I'm going to trade this pick down. I'll see if I can get a 3rd next year, but it's most likely going to be a 4. Yeah, I'll take Jacksonville. Jacksonville's 4th. Oh, nope, it is 2024. So I traded 3 spots down for nothing. All right. We still get the Texans 4th next year. No harm, no foul. But how is that even a thing that could happen? I just assumed, oh, it's next year's pick. We are in 2024. That's right. Draft recap. Show me big things here. Okay, interesting. Glenn Duncan's a 75 overall. Very, very good overall for an inside linebacker. He's really good. Tackling's high, pursuit's pretty good. Block shedding is in an okay spot. Coverage is actually pretty great. So Glenn Duncan is a fantastic pick. Hugh Phillips is a 71, not too bad. And then Justin Riley could be the big one. 73 overall. Accuracies are pretty good arm. Really good developmental player. We might have something there. He's not going to start over Daniel Jones right now. But just because of his contract, he could end up making us make the decision to promote him to starter. Now, Owen Burris, QB1, was pretty phenomenal, 81 overall. Accuracy is fantastic, short range. Also as a cannon, pretty good athlete as well. The deep accuracy just needs to come along a little bit, but yeah, I get it. He's pretty awesome. Better draft class, Frank Gary's a 79. Jaden Newsome was a 77. Unfortunate there. Does have hidden dev as well. 96 speed, 98 acceleration. Route running's not so bad. Catching's a 77. That's what D catching is for a receiver this year. Agility is fantastic. Change of direction is fantastic. Show me star. Please do not let it be higher than star. Please, 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 please. Thank you. All right. Good player to miss out on, but you know what? We would have had to move up for him anyway, obviously. And it ends up working out a little bit. Judge ended up being a 74 overall. So he was pretty good. Only normal dev, though. Good thing I didn't move up. Looks awesome. I don't know how he's only a 74. Looks really good. Nobody wants Mark Lewinsky. I'm going to cut him. Not really a signing that worked out for the Giants, unfortunately. Maybe he turns it around in real life, but up to this point, hasn't really shown enough, to be honest. John Runyon Jr. is going to start at right guard. Younger and a better option right now. Darren Waller. Receiving core should have been better. Should have been better. We missed. Need a backup running back. Other than that, the offense is starting to look pretty good. And then defensively, Isaiah Simmons will be playing inside linebacker. Is not an outside linebacker in our scheme. It's not going to work. He'll play Mike. Well, whatever it is in a 3-4. Avon Thibodeau up to an 86, 87 overall temporarily. Very, very good option for us. He'll continue to stay out there and then probably get extended. On the defensive line, I mean, Phillips is going to play over Mobley for sure, but he's probably not going to see the field very much anyway. Corner, still a need, but I like the addition of Duncan. I think what ends up happening probably, well, if we move to a 4-3, it's Lawrence and Green probably at defensive tackle, just be an undersized DT, which will make it work. Williams would be gone, and we'd have good backups. Ojulari and Thibodeau would slide down. And then we'd have Simmons, Okereke, and Duncan playing off the ball. Okereke at Mike, Simmons probably at Will, and then Duncan will be our Sam. And then, yeah, Williams just doesn't really factor. If we stayed in a 3-4, I mean, Duncan's going to see the field. He'll just be behind Simmons. And then Thibodeau, Green, Leonard Williams still as a pass rusher. It's a good group. I'm just going to change the slot receiver into being Paris Campbell. No, Wandale. Let me do Wandale. I'll sign Chuba Hubbard. He'll be a pretty good backup for me. He's going to reset my depth chart. He's still got the Panthers beanie on, okay? Or skull cap, whatever you want to call it. Different things, probably. About Tejada. Oh, 2-4 at the midseason mark. Not really what I was expecting. Eagles are also 2-4. Our offense is terrible, but it's a good thing our defense is also shit. They work together well. How, dude, we have the number 1 in passing yards per game, number 2 in rushing yards per game allowed, and we have the number 21 defense in points per game allowed. It's going to even out. It's going to even out. It's going to even out. I'm going to trust it. And then offensively, is it the quarterback? All right. We're going to worry about that at a later date. which I don't know when that would be. It's now. We're going to wait on it. Quarterback is a strength of this class. We could still take one. Corner, we do need corner. Yeah, there are quite a few quarterbacks in this class. Projected to go really high. It's, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projected to go in round 1. 1 beyond round 1. And then the rest undrafted. And Matt Mormon could be the one. Top 5 talent. Is this the guy we're going to bet on? Only 21 years old, 6'5", 231, Ball State, because every good quarterback in this game is from a no-name school. Great to elite throw power. Athleticism isn't anything crazy. It's going to be an interesting decision. I will also say, very unusual to see a speed rush type at 6'4", 270. How similar is Clifton Belton to the current defensive end that we have? And if he is, that seems like that would be a pretty good pickup for us. Darren Waller does not want to be here because we are back to being an underdog for the Super Bowl chase. Why couldn't you have been a free agent last year when things were looking up? Maybe we can turn it around. I don't know. Aziz, are you in the same boat? No. He just wants a mentor. We could probably make that happen. Change his opinion. Leonard Williams, man, we just cannot do it, probably. Darius Slayton's going to be another tough one. He's probably got to come back. Yeah, it's going to be important to bring him back. And he thinks he can find a better offer in free agency. So we are going into a really, really tough offseason financially. And that's going to make Darren Waller a tough get. We need to clear up some money somehow. And I'm going to tell you, the tough reality is it probably starts with our quarterback. It's going to be, it is what it is. All right, John Simon could help us keep Azeez Ojulari, which means now he's a pretty important player for me. Unfortunately, did not make the playoffs. Did have a little bit of a turnaround, though, going 9-8. His stats are all screwed up. Let's see what Daniel Jones did. He had a great year. About 5,000 passing yards, 39 touchdowns to only 12 picks. This was a great season. Saquon was still very good, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. Receiving, Darren Waller over 1,000 yards and 8 TDs. Darius Slayton with a near identical stat line, except for catches. Obviously, Waller had many, many more. Paris Campbell was great. 10 touchdowns, nearly 1,000 yards as well. Barkley was incredibly impactful as a receiver, over 800 receiving yards. And then Isaiah Simmons had a ton of tackles, 11 for loss, 1.5 sacks. But Dexter Lawrence, 22. 15 for Thibodeau, 14 for Curtis Green, who also put up double-digit sacks. Although it was Kayvon Thibodeau who led the team with 14. 11.5 for Curtis Green, as I said, and 10 for Dexter Lawrence. The team seems to be playing well. They're putting up pretty good numbers. We are just not finding the success that I'm looking for. And the offense finishes at 8th. Defense finishes at 20th. Something is not adding up, and something has to change. Chiefs crushed the Packers in the Super Bowl, 38-20. Josh Allen wins MVP. No real notable Giants news anywhere, so we'll just move past this. Still looking to get better. It's only 2024. I have kind of taken a bunch of breaks during this rebuild. Texas played the first round of the NCAA tournament, March Madness, got the big win over Colgate. They should have, and they did. And then I stopped for dinner. Still hungry even. Might even stop again before this is over. But I feel like I've been going for several hours because I have been. I've just only gotten like a year into the future. Darren Waller's here, wants to come back. We're a playoff contender now, so he's interested in being here. I would be interested on a 2-year deal. I can up the money a little bit, and Darren Waller returns. He's going to continue to regress, but he's still good. Azeez Ojulari is going to be a little bit more expensive. I'd like to take the money down a little bit, and Azeez Ojulari returns as well. It's always really scary to take the money down because a lot of the time they just won't re-sign. They'll be like, nah. And then when you're in last chance negotiations like we had to be, there's no wiggle room. There's no room to screw up. They'll just leave. So then you have the option to franchise tag them or let them go. And Leonard Williams, unfortunately, is going to be somebody that we let go. $17 million in cap room. It just doesn't make sense to bring him back. Isaiah Hodgins, it does, though. We need depth at receiver. He's got to be someone that we retain. It's not amazing or anything, but I think he makes more sense than Darius Slayton right now, who's going to be more expensive, who doesn't want to be here, who is 28 years old. Yeah, unfortunately, just have to let those guys walk. Okay, free agency. We have 13 million. If there's a big-time player to sign, oh, gosh. We can't get Micah Parsons. Now, Chris Godwin, though, could be worth going after. Bring Kadarius Toney back. That'd be funny. Chris Godwin, man, wants over 20 per year. We just can't afford it right now, but he wants to be here. He wants to make it work. I want to make it work. I am going to find a way to make it work. So I'm left with a decision now. Do I want to pay Daniel Jones? Well, or do I want the cap hit to be $52 million to keep him on the team at 28 years old, 77 overall? Or do I want to incur a $9 million penalty for moving him? And he's got superstar dev, you little bitch. It makes it a little bit tougher, I guess. No, it has to happen. I think we all know it. I cannot afford to have him as my quarterback anymore. I know there are going to be Giants fans that are going to be devastated I'm doing this. Grow up, all right? Falcons need a quarterback. They pick at number 19 overall. And guess what? They get Daniel Jones. And I know what you're thinking. Daniel Jones would never be traded for a first-round pick, number 19. It's number 19. It's not number 9. It's not number 2. 28 years old, superstar dev quarterback. I agree with you, but I can angle it in a way where maybe it looks like it makes more sense. I'm getting Chris Godwin. That's what this was about. Chris Godwin wants to be here. The next quarterback is going to get a big-time weapon, and that weapon is Lions franchise legend Rod God, Chris Godwin, whose real name is Rod Christopher Godwin, if I remember correctly. Justin Reed is here. Can't really do that. Leonard Williams is here. A lot of interest in Leonard Williams. We just can't do it. We couldn't afford it at the time. We can now, but I don't know if I want to now. Charles Amenahu's here. The offensive line is fine. Don't need Nate Davis with the Bears now. Don't need anybody across here. Tight end is obviously in a good spot for us. And then receiver. Yeah, we just don't really need anybody else but Chris Godwin. Could use a backup running back. It's not going to be done here, though. And then quarterback, we're fine. So the only player I'm going after is Chris Godwin, and we absolutely need him to sign on the dotted line, become a Giant, and he is not. He signed with the Jags. We gave him more money, and he went to the Jaguars? Oh, man, you got to be joking me, dude. I'm not doing this. This is not happening. Darius Slayton, I offered a 1-year deal. Texans are in. Dude, I can't have nice things. Do I do a 3-year deal for Slayton? I don't even know if he's going to accept. He's going to want more money. I would do a 2-year deal. I can up the money, and that's the best I can do. That is actually the best offer I can give you. And if you go to the Texans, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, really. All right, well, we got more money for 2025. Didn't exactly go to plan here. NFL draft time, kind of a new lease on life here. I hate to say that Daniel Jones was really dragging us down, but come on. I mean, it's just such an expensive contract. When in Madden, he was not worth that. And we have Riley, good old Justin Riley, star dev. He's a 74 overall. The accuracy's okay. The throw power is up to a 91. I think it was a 90 when we drafted him. So not so bad. And who knows, as a full-time starter, he could end up being incredible for us. All in all, it's not the worst thing. Cheap contract, we could look to replace him still. Wide receiver, very big position of need. Kayvon Thibodeau up to Superstar X Factor. Dexter Lawrence up to Superstar X Factor. Phillips has star. What do we do? I think for right now, Dexter Lawrence is going to play defensive end. Phillips is going to take over at defensive tackle. And we're going to stay in a 3-4. Or we're just much better suited to a 4-3 now, and our defense was not nearly as good as they should have been last year. Yeah, we are switching to a 4-3. I've talked myself into it. Duncan as star dev. It's going to go up. He's going to be a beast. Curtis Green could stay at defensive end, by the way. And Azeez Ojulari just becomes like a rotational player. But we didn't pay him rotational player money. So we're at least going to try this first. He is 270. So it's not, it is unrealistic, but it's not the absolute worst thing I've ever done. Okay, so here we are in the draft. Manny Spence, by the way, is a power rusher who's a top 5 talent in the draft. Good athlete, good pass rusher. You guys know it's tough for me to turn those down. It really is. I am the Howie Roseman of GMs. Now, Matt Moorman, if I were to take a quarterback, is pretty good. But is he move on beyond my current quarterback good? He's got a cannon of an arm. He's accurate. Pretty accurate. I don't know. It is a tough call. Only 21 years old, but it's not going to be easy to just get in position for some of these players. It's going to be quite difficult in some cases. Don't really know exactly what to do as a result. Oh, Clifton Belton was one of the guys I was looking at here. A finesse moves, A tackle. Really good athlete. A finesse moves, I said. He's good too. Pick at 18, 19, and 20. Okay, that's interesting. No second round pick. 18 and 19 could absolutely help me move up. If that, I mean, where would I play him? Let's not make any promises before I know I can actually live up to them. It would be over Azeez Ojulari, who I just paid. I mean, I just paid him. I'm not going to be irresponsible. I'd love to be. I'm not going to be. We need receivers so bad. I got to turn one of those picks into a wideout. Has to happen. Hey, hold on. We might have some receivers in this class. Mike Justice is a Hall of Fame name. He's a good athlete, too. Eddie Stringer. I mean, he ran 4.26 at his pro day. It was the 5th fastest time. Elite acceleration, elite agility. We might have some receivers in this class. We might have some receivers. Okay, we might. I'm not going to take 3 receivers with those picks, obviously. Wish I scouted these receivers more. Rudy Roberts. A short route running, B deep route running. Pretty good. He's a playmaker type, but he's 6'3", 228. Good catch in traffic. I like the receivers. I really do. And then Travis Alexander is also very intriguing to me. He has B catch in traffic, B to D catching, don't care about. A deep route running, B release, very good. Physically, I was hoping for elite speed, but he's still a really, really good athlete. Medium route running's an F. Short route running's a D. There's a red flag or 2 in there, but there are also some green ones. Some tough decisions at this position. Now, I think I'm going to trade up for Mike Justice, because first of all, that's an amazing name. Second of all, though, Matt Moorman, just sitting there at 7. And it is tough to pass on a player. Clifton Belton goes at 7. It's tough to pass on a player you know is going to be really, really good. It's now or never, man. Is Justin Riley the guy? Oh, I don't know. Dude, the quarterback is just sitting on the board. We've made it to number 11. The Patriots needed a quarterback, didn't take him. The Dolphins needed a quarterback, didn't take him. What's wrong with this guy? Jets need a quarterback. Can I ignore it at this point? All right, I'm making a big-time move with the Jets. No, I'm not. I'll just do this. Number 20, Solomon Kindley, and a second-round pick next year as netted me the number 11 overall pick. And I would like to trade back up again, but I just cannot let the quarterback just stay on the board. He's a top 5 talent. He's good. He's 21. He's got a cannon of an arm. He looks good in shorts. This is Josh Allen. He's not that level of athlete, but he's not bad. I mean, Josh Allen probably didn't run much faster than 4.75 at his, well, maybe at the combine. Pulled up the freaking Kentucky edge rusher. Why is that the first one that comes up? I remember Josh Allen at the combine. He wowed it. He threw the ball 110 yards in the air. Keeps pulling up the edge. He ran 4.75 at the NFL combine, which is what this guy did at his pro day. So they're about the same athlete. Got a cannon. I am drafting him. Matt Moorman, 85 acceleration, 79 speed, 96 throw power. There will be a quarterback battle potentially in camp. Trading number 18 and a third. more moving up than I wanted to do, but the quarterback was just sitting there, dude. This is like, when the Ravens moved back into the first round for Lamar Jackson, when the Bears made that move for Justin Fields. We had to go get our guy, and I think we made the right move. Mike Justice is sitting on the board here, 6'4", 219, only 21 years old, which is valuable. They develop faster. He's got great speed, elite jumping. This is a talented player. Welcome to the Giants. Hidden Dev at 6'4", 219 with 93 speed, by the way. Pretty incredible. 88 acceleration's a bit low, so he's going to take a bit to get going, but once he does, he's got a lot of long speed. Left-handed. Although I think Stephon Diggs might be left-handed. There's a top receiver in the league who's left-handed for sure. I think it's Stephon Diggs. Maybe it's more. Maybe Tyreek Hill, potentially. I can't remember. It's tough because you watch these guys throw so infrequently. But Mike Justice, I'm pretty happy about. I'll simulate to number 19 here. There goes Eddie Stringer. Definitely would have been in play for me, but unfortunately is off the board. These other receivers, though, Travis Alexander could be the one. Now, but the playmaker archetype is so intriguing to me because we know Rudy Roberts is going to have like high spin and juke and stuff like that, but he's also a good route runner. So I think he's going to be good. Also, only 21 years old. Another big receiver. Travis Alexander is not quite as big. Elite agility. Doesn't quite have the elite speed. The route running's just not quite as good either, though. Usually, I would be all over Travis Alexander's type of receiver here. But I think I'm going to go Rudy Roberts. Just kind of a weird-looking receiving prospect. Haven't really seen something like this. We're going to take him. Rudy Roberts has hidden dev, 88 acceleration, 92 agility, 88 change of direction and jumping, 92 speed. He's got the Nick Duval face scan, or face likeness, whatever. And if you guys watch Giants franchise, Nick Duval might be the best player in Bengal franchise history. So Rudy Roberts could be something. And went to Notre Dame, got a couple of Notre Dame players in Giants franchise, and a lot of Boomer Giants fans love Notre Dame too, so there are a lot of connections. Rating a 4, 5, and 6 for a third next year from Chicago. I think that's definitely worth it for me. And we'll let the CPU take care of that 7th rounder. Really interested in seeing what type of players we missed out on, but I'm also interested in seeing the type of players we got. Matt Mormon is a 76 overall. So he is an upgrade over the current 74 rated quarterback. He's definitely good. Definitely good. The question becomes, is he worth what we paid to get him? Mike Justice is a 75 overall, not too bad. The physical archetype with the speed was something that was really intriguing, and he has 94. Spectacular catch. Very, very nice. Definitely worth it. Very good player. And then Rudy Roberts. Name that sounds like he could have been an MLB player in the 50s. 6'3", 228, very different than anything you'd find back then. But is pretty good. Kind of like, I don't want to call him a gadget type. Does have the aggressive catch trait, which is interesting. But he's like a slot. That's pretty much what I see in Rudy Roberts. Get him the football, let him work. And I think we're going to do just that. Now, there were some other very talented players in this class, I believe. And Manny Spence was the highest rated. This was the player I was considering trading up for, but it wouldn't have made any sense as he just would not have had a spot on my team. Pretty much it. Really good. But the question is, did I miss out on a superstar? Nope, just star development. So we got the tied for third highest rated player in the draft. Some good value. Browns with a couple of studs, by the way. 2 of the top 3 overall players in the class. We didn't do too badly. I think Mormon's going to start. I think that's the decision. The decision's been made. He's going to start. I'm going to start the rookie receivers. I should have used one of those first-round picks on like a known talented receiver, but we didn't because it's more fun to draft. And this is the team. I've never addressed boundary corner, which if this is going to be the year, which I think we're going to take a big step this year, I might as well go out and trade for a big corner. I'll check free agency real quick. There's nothing here. Yeah, we're going to make a move. I'll probably sign Khalil Herbert, though, now that I saw him. All right, I'm making a hugely irresponsible trade. 2 first-round picks on my Jalen Ramsey Rams-type garbage. Les Snead, trading a 4th as well. We're getting Tyson Campbell back. Tyson Campbell, if you didn't know, is one of the best young corners in the NFL right now. Is kind of flying under the radar. He is actually the highest-rated corner on our team by a lot. I think he's going to be the difference. Got great coverage, great athleticism, and I'll never forget. Very odd, like weird reference here, maybe. But you guys know I like to do tape study for the draft every year. And when I was watching Jalen Waddle, I'll never forget, switch release, Jalen Waddle torches him. Now, the interesting thing about that is Tyson Campbell was, I believe, a state champion in Florida in the 100 meter. So Tyson Campbell can really run. So it was very impressive at the time. I'll never forget that. But you guys know the team. I'll go over it briefly as well before the start of the regular season. And I need to see the playoffs. I think we're going to see them. The only variable that's a little bit weird is that right there. We had a rookie QB1. Any expectations? Never seen this before. I always do show flashes, but I think 2+ passing touchdowns is reasonable. I'm going to start Justice. Receiving core, listen, I know. Khalil Herbert's on the team now. Khalil Herbert should be, good at secondary option. Defense looks very good. And then specialist, I'm going to put Rudy Roberts in the slot. D-line looks really solid. I love the linebacking core. Darnay Holmes in the slot. This is the team. Let's kick it off with a big win over a big rival with 2+ passing touchdowns. So maybe we get a little bit of a XP for our quarterback. That's what I'm hoping for. And we won 23-17 and 23 points. Could be enough for 2 passing touchdowns. Tell me we got it. Nope, didn't light up the stat sheet. So maybe a touchdown. He's got 1,000 XP. A little bit disappointing, but that's okay. It was his first start. Did he end up with 1 touchdown? They said didn't light up the stat sheet. I thought 2 touchdowns was going to be pretty doable. 2 touchdowns. However, the downside, he threw 3 picks. Maybe that was the thing. Hey, don't throw 3 picks, Matt. But I didn't see it say anything about interceptions, so I feel like we've been cheated a little bit here. Unless I just glossed over it and didn't read it. We'll go to the midseason mark. 1-0. We're on pace for 17 wins or so right now, so it's pretty good. Okay, we dropped off a little bit. 4-3, but in position to potentially take the East. This game is going to be very important in accomplishing that. Now, was it worth it to trade 2 first-round picks for Tyson Campbell? You know what? That's not something I want to talk about right now. I'll get back to you on that. We'll just see how this season goes. Wan'Dale Robinson with a nice upgrade here. I hope the CPU doesn't rearrange my depth chart. I want Wan'Dale Robinson to play, but I don't want him to be the feature, or should I say the main feature of the offense. Show me some dev traits. Superstar dev from Mormon. Huge. The right decision was made. And it was purely off overall and arm strength, but whatever. Robert has star dev. We don't know Justice yet. There's no Justice in this world. I know that. Because otherwise, every time I would draft a player, superstar dev or higher. And then defensively, we're in pretty much the same boat. Didn't really draft anyone on that side of the ball, so we wouldn't really have anything. I'm going to swap Hodgins and Justice here just to get him, some more reps. Wan'Dale as our 4th. It's not so bad. This is a decent group. Mormon, I think, is going to carry us to the promised land. He's just got to continue to get better. And who are the players we have to bring back? It's going to be the big question here. 80 mil, Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal. Oh, it's really just that. It's really those 2. It's the 2022 draft class. So Thibodeau is going to sign an extension. Doesn't want to be here. I don't care. I'm going to sign you. You're going to get tagged at the very least. Kayvon Thibodeau will be a Giant next year. Evan Neal wants to be here. It's going to be an easy sign back when he returns. John Runyon for 2 years. That is not an expensive contract at all. Very happy to do that. And we're going to just pause on the rest. I really hope Daniel Bellinger takes a big step up in real life going into year 2. The Giants are probably going to run a lot more 12 personnel with the addition of Darren Waller, but I wouldn't discount Darren Waller just being a slot/out wide player sometimes. I think the Giants are going to try and do that. I don't think they necessarily have to play him in line in that traditional tight end spot. So Daniel Bellinger, I feel like, still is going to play quite a bit, but I know he didn't feature in this rebuild very much. We drafted the tight end who is yet to play at all. I know. But Darren Waller didn't really regress as much as I thought he would. So, you know what? You always have a backup plan. Always. Then we go 10-7. Make the playoffs. Did not win the division. Eagles went 10-7 as well. Cowboys, only 2 wins. This is probably the worst I've ever seen the Cowboys do in simulation. Usually they're 15-2 and not 2-15. As Mac Jones threw for 5,800 yards. What a rookie season though for Matt Mormon. Over 5,000 yards passing, 39 touchdowns, 16 picks is too many. But when you factor in that he had 3 in week 1, I would say that 13 for the rest of the season's not so bad. He was great. Rushing, Saquon was incredible. Over 1,700 yards, 17 touchdowns, over 100 yards per game with 6.3 yards per carry. One of the best running back seasons I've seen. Rudy Roberts had a season in the slot, let me tell you. That might be Rookie of the Year, Superstar Dev type stuff. Rudy Roberts, it's the Nick Duval face scan, it must be. 1,400 yards on 109 catches, 11 touchdowns. Darren Waller was great. Mike Justice performed well enough. Only star Dev, unfortunately. He's good, though. Spec catch is already up to 96. Isaiah Hodgins was great, too. And Saquon might have won Offensive Player of the Year. He should. He was great. Okereke with 143 tackles, 5 for loss, 2.5 sacks. Dexter Lawrence, 19 TFLs, 5 sacks. Kayvon Thibodeau, 20 sacks. Curtis Green, 14.5. 10.5 for Ojulari. And Simmons. Isaiah Simmons. Interesting. That is a sick hybrid stat year from Isaiah Simmons. How did he get 10.5 sacks? He wasn't a rush end. It was Ojulari and Thibodeau. Wasn't a rush D tackle. That was Green and Lawrence. He just made it happen. That is awesome. 3 picks for Xavier McKinney as well. What a season for us. And unfortunately, we're only playing in the wild card. We had the number 2 defense in points per game, the number 4 offense in points per game, and here we are in the wild card after not even winning the division? That's crazy. Isaiah Simmons' block shedding is pretty bad. The fact that he had double-digit sacks is insane to me. We're going to do run stopper because the CPU is not going to upgrade that. They're going to continue to go into pass coverage on him, which they probably should make him better at what he's already great at. Wild card round of the playoffs. I usually would never jump in here, but they got Micah Parsons. I'm going to do it anyway. We'll see how it goes. I don't necessarily have to jump in, but if it's a 4th quarter at Lambeau, where the Giants are known to win, by the way, in the playoffs, we could have some big things. Not every game. I think 2016 was at Green Bay and they lost, but 2007, 2011, some big Super Bowl wins for the Giants came out of winning at Lambeau in the playoffs, and we are up early into the 3rd quarter now. Game's flying by, and it might as well be over. It is 35-10, 42-10. The offense came to play, and the defense matched. 42-10, massive win for Brian Daboll and the New York Football Giants. 4 passing touchdowns for Matt Mormon en route to a massive, massive win over the Packers and Jared Goff. He's just making his way through the NFC North at this point. Okay, we're legit good now. 89 overall. The Panthers have the same record at 83 overall. And we'll go ahead and upgrade McKinney. Let's do run support. Not quite the main scheme fit on him, but we are very close. Some good upgrades in there. Divisional round of the playoffs. Might as well continue the trend. Jump in. Baskerville. What a name. Here we go. Divisional playoff action. I know what some of you were thinking who watch a lot of these rebuilds. You're jumping in for the wild card game? You never do that. You're only doing it because it's the Giants, your favorite team. You're right. You are correct. And we are up 13-3 here in the 2nd quarter. Panthers fighting back, though, doing a little bit more than the Packers managed to do. But it might not be enough. Our offense is proving to be too good, and the defense is just shutting it down. Hold on. The Panthers just took the lead. What just happened? And Mormon is wearing Cody Bailey's number 2, and I think he looks like Cody Bailey in the game. What's going on? We got Darren Waller. Darren Waller, good release, dropped the football. Mormon, couple of picks in this game to go with a couple of touchdowns. I never changed Saquon Barkley's number back to 26. He's 31. It looks so weird. My guys are confused here. It's 3rd and 10. Don't be confused. We're going to Darren Waller. Nice catch. It's like an animation I don't think I've ever seen. Kind of weird. But first down, field goal wins the game. Unlike Giants franchise, we have no Wyatt Anthony, so we need to get like 2 field goal range stat. I feel like Darren Waller has his own set of animations. Number 7 is retired, so you're just going to have to ignore that. Justice with a decent release, though. We're going to give him a shot. No, we're not. Nearly sack, fumble, game over. Okay. Let's try to get the football out a little bit quicker. I'd say that's probably not the worst idea. Justice running it in here. We got it to him. Nice little dig across the middle. That is close to field goal range, but not quite there. Panthers still have timeouts. I really don't want to get iced and miss a game-winning field goal on camera. That'd be really sad. So let's just keep trying to score a touchdown. Isaiah Hodgins does a great job to get out of bounds. That's got to be a flag, by the way. He got knocked while out of bounds there. There's an episode of Giants franchise that's going to be uploaded shortly after this, I believe, like tomorrow, where we get a BS call for unnecessary roughness. I didn't even know what could happen in Madden 23. Unnecessary roughness. No call there? Yeah, all right, dude. I'm going to throw it away. You can't get me on intentional grounding. You can't. I'm out of the tackle box. I wasn't really. That's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough penalty there. What about there's a receiver in the area? I don't know. I don't like the call. Not a fan of it. I want to throw to Waller. I want to throw so many things. I'm just too scared. I'm too scared to turn the ball over in this spot that I don't want to do it. I just want to get into field goal range and not risk it. We might have had a touchdown, but I don't want to risk it. Oh, Roberts. That's a first down. Dive. Roberts got it. Rudy Roberts gives us life here in the 4th quarter. Hey, there's Rivers. There's a top 15 pick showing up. Carolina down to 1 timeout. Less than 20 seconds to play. We're going to go Saquon Barkley and timeout here if we don't get in. Barkley power touchdown. We take the lead with 12 seconds to go. We are going to go for 2 to make sure that we can't lose here. Darren Waller is the look. I don't like it anymore. I like that, though. It's intercepted. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, if the Panthers want to win in these final 7 seconds, have at it. I don't think it's going to happen. This is the final play of the game now. Oh, he's just going to lob it up. Sick play. All right, we're moving on. Kind of an anticlimactic game there. The 12-5 Cardinals, 84 overall. Okay, dude. Matt Mormon does have an upgrade. So, yeah, anticlimactic end there. But we move. A win is a win. Improviser. Playing temporarily up to an 85 overall. Gotta love it. All right, Cardinals, NFC Championship. They got Kenneth Murray. I don't care. We are up early, extending our lead to now 17-0 in the 2nd quarter. 20-0. Could be even more here. Carolina, not in the game. That's the Cardinals. Arizona, Cardinals, Carolina. They got elements of both. This is too close. Why is it a 6-point game with us on defense? Oh, my goodness. Pass commit and get after the damn QB. Don't let Kyler Murray do his witchcraft. It's going to be a 38-second play that ends in a touchdown and probably... Make a tackle. Make a tackle. Oh, Carrick with the face mask. I went for the hit stick. There's no button on my controller to do a face mask. Hit him. I don't even want to tackle. Oh, my God. It's rigged. It's rigged. Now, not only is that a clock stopper, so it works as a timeout for Arizona, who didn't have one, it moves them to the 28. Oh, this is crazy. All right, Kyler Murray just met Kayvon Thibodeau. I think they're going to be buddies. We're going to blitz. So much blitz. Ball came out quickly. Good tackle. Game over. Thanks for playing. We're moving on to the Super Bowl. That was a little dicey. Curtis Green with an upgrade. We'll do run stopper. He's already a little bit out of position as it is, as you guys know. +3 block shedding is nice. +6 right now. Okay, he's going to be unstoppable. Kayvon Thibodeau, do power rusher. I think we could... actually, we're too far. We need to be a 95 overall, whatever, to get edge threat for power rushers. 89 speed's pretty nice. Man, Kayvon Thibodeau could end up being such a good player. I don't know that he's ever going to be on, like, the Myles Garrett level, just because Myles Garrett is a super freak. But, man, Kayvon Thibodeau could be so good. I'm hoping for it. Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Let's go. Thibodeau with another upgrade, by the way. All right, let's see some upgrades, if we got any. I think we're going to do another season after this regardless. Rubert's... not what that is named. You know what? Yeah, Rube with the upgrade to Superstar. Nice. Justice had Star, of course. And then defensively, we could see an upgrade or two. I don't see any, though. Campbell went down to Star. That's my big reward for making the Super Bowl. Tyson Campbell, who you traded for, now is Star Dev. All right. Super Bowl time. We are down early, but not out of it yet. 14-3, though. We're going to have to start doing something. Touchdown there is a good start. Chiefs up 21-10, 28-10 now. Again, game's not over. We just need to do a little bit better. 35-16, 35-23. It's 3rd and 1. Game is on the line. We're going to go run commit. We're going to bring a safety up, Terrell Burgess, and we're going to try and not lose the game here. Terrell Burgess is going to eat a block. Okereke didn't fill the lane. All right. That's very likely the Super Bowl. Xavier McKinney's playing in Narnia. What happens here? Chiefs go up 38-23. Oh, it's going to be very unlikely that we come back in this game. Very unlikely. We pretty much need a turnover. That's pretty much what has to happen. But even then, some would say too much time has passed already. It is not a good spot to be in. Okereke, nice tackle. I just don't think it's going to be enough. Rudy Roberts, 11 catches for 149 yards and a touchdown, by the way. We need to score now, and we're going to need a 2-point conversion at some point. Just throw it up to Justice. Oh, did he catch that? No, he dropped it. Listen, it's probably going to be over. If something big happens to change that, I'll show you guys, but I would not count on it. It was just not to be. 38-23 is your final. Could not get it done in the Super Bowl, and we will head back for one more season. Try to get the Giants their 5th Super Bowl. Mahomes won MVP of the Super Bowl. Mike Calhoun of the Commanders won Offensive Rookie of the Year and MVP. Okay. Kayvon Thibodeau. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to be here. And come on, we were in the Super Bowl. All right, he's back. That's all it took. Oh, yeah, we don't really have too much here. Do we bring Wandale back? You know what? He's pretty cheap. We could do better. He's going to test free agency? All right. Whatever. Jamie Gillen, do you want to be here? It's not a lot of money. Jamie Gillen's back for the duration of the rebuild. Daniel Bellinger we don't need. Okay, we're good. We're going to go ahead and fill out the roster in free agency, but I'll tell you, the number 1 player in this class is a receiver. I didn't look at him. I just saw that that was the case. So I might try and finagle my way up to get him. Yeah, this is what I saw. Tony Norwood. Also, running back next. Tony Norwood is not impressing me. That's actually where I am on that. Not that he's not. Nah, you know what? He's not impressive. You know what? He's a good route runner. But I'm still not impressed. Darren Pruitt. Running back. Got some pretty electric speed. Oh, a juke move. Very rare. He's going to be sweet. Awesome tight end prospect. We are just not going to draft anybody. It's pretty much what's going to happen. Ooh, Floyd Leno is going to be sweet. A pursuit, A finesse moves, B tackle. He also happens to be an elite athlete. Floyd Leno And we're just not gonna be able to draft anybody. I put all of my eggs in the Tyson Campbell basket. But to be fair, did I really? It's the number 31 overall pick this year, and hopefully the number 32 overall pick next year. I'm okay. Deebo Samuel's here. Okay, let's figure out what we need, and let's make it rain. One wide receiver. The O-line, I would say, is good enough. And then defensively, I think the defense is good. We could potentially get a corner, but it's just BPA. Outside a receiver, if there's a stud at any position, we will be giving them a call. I'm going after Deebo, and I'm going after Ike Ekwonu. Ekwonu is someone who I think can definitely play guard. Of course, it was talked a lot about, as you guys remember, in the draft cycle. But I also don't want the Eagles to get him. So, trying to block them. We're going to get Deebo, hopefully, over the Saints. And we got both of them. Ike's going to play left guard. Deebo's going to be wide receiver 1. We got a squad. We're not rebuilding. We are reloading. You know, we hear it every draft cycle. The very interesting thing about the guys that play tackle is, especially if they have short arms, you know, they just might make an awesome guard. Like Zach Martin, for example, from Notre Dame. We've seen him play tackle. We know he can play tackle. But, yeah, you take a good to maybe above average tackle and you turn them into the best guard in the NFL. So, you know, there are some benefits to that. Now, you'll see a lot of teams just draft guards to play guard. Or just, we'll say, interior offensive lineman to play interior offensive line. But I wonder if a team, like, solely focused on, not solely, let's not get too crazy, but if they took developmental tackles to play guard, like something you could get for good value in, you know, the mid to late rounds, that could end up being, you know, a plus guard that maybe you would have had to take higher. I don't know. It's a thought. It's a thought. It's not just as easy as that. It's not like, oh, every tackle is better than every guard. So a 5th round tackle equates to a 2nd round guard. It's not like that. But there are instances, and maybe even a few instances, where like it definitely happens. So I don't know. It's kind of a late night ramble here. George Bush to the Colts, man. I don't even have a joke for it. I wish I could give you one. I know everyone wants one. I wish I could give you a joke. Don't even have one. I would never disrespect a president of his stature. He's not like that fucking Obama. Colt Black? What is this draft class, dude? Unbelievable. Larry Bonds instead of Barry? I mean, Addison Kendrick has got to be a mattress actress out there somewhere with that name. Will Cummins, probably. The same goes for him. I can guarantee it. Well, I can't guarantee it. I'm no expert. I'm just saying the name feels like it fits. I'm just going to let the CPU deal with this pick. Or, no, better yet, I will trade down. Take a future 3. Did I just trade down one spot for nothing? All right, the Bills are offering me a pick. It works out in the end. At running back, we took Charles Sapp. Is not so bad. 71 overall. I think this draft class looked pretty good, though. I'm excited about the talent. And, oh my goodness. So the running back's an 80. Knew he'd be really good. The receivers is 79. Way higher than I expected. And it's because of what he does as a running back. 94 change of direction, 81 juke, 80 spin, 88 ball carrier vision. At receiver, he's basically a running back. 94 agility. The spectacular catch is good. The medium route running is, we couldn't have known it was going to be 86. He's worth it. 89 speed probably doesn't work too well in Madden. But definitely, that's a real-life player that you would like to have on your team for sure. And, I mean, the Cowboys also got a great quarterback. At the top of the second, Brandon Parks from TCU kept him in state, no less. He's got 99 speed. I've been waiting to see, and he's 6'5". What am I looking at? What am I looking at? I've been waiting to see a player like this. He will guaranteed have superstar X factor. I've been waiting for a player like that. It's been so long since I've seen one in draft. That is, believe it or not, a generational quarterback prospect. They're not always going to be high 80s, but it's the guaranteed superstar X factors with a crazy stat. And I'll tell you, 99 speed for a quarterback is pretty crazy. And the Cowboys got him. I don't even know what to say about that. Defensively, you guys know where we are. You saw the offense. It's a good team. Got Debo now. You got Rudy Roberts. Defense looks pretty spectacular. Let's win a Super Bowl. Just go do it. 12-5. Won the division. I got really scared when I saw this screen. This is usually the screen you see when you don't make the playoffs. But we won the division. Usually 12-5 is not good enough to get the first round bye. But I guess it was a really competitive NFC. Matt Mormon, 48 passing touchdowns. 4,700 yards, only 11 interceptions. That is an awesome second year. He's up to an 88 overall. Short accuracy could be better. 98 throw power. This is a monster QB. Maybe even an MVP after this year. Saquon Barkley was still exceptional. 5.7 yards per carry, 19 touchdowns, over 1,700 yards. Receiving, Debo Samuel was exactly what this offense needed. Darren Waller had his best year. Mike Justice did well enough. Isaiah Hodgins played well. Rudy Roberts barely played. Isaiah Hodgins got way more targets and snaps, really. So that is my fault. Rudy Roberts should be playing over Isaiah Hodgins. Okereke with a great year, but oh my goodness, did my defensive line go off. Dexter Lawrence, 18 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks. Ojulari had 16 tackles for loss with 9.5 sacks, but those pale in comparison to 26 sacks from Kayvon Thibodeau and 18 from Curtis Green. What a year. Isaiah Simmons, another great season. 8 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 4 picks. Led the team in interceptions, actually. My boundary corners do nothing. That's all right, though. Team was fantastic. It's not about the individual. It's about the whole. Number 2, offensive points per game. Number 4, defensive. This is a Super Bowl team. This is a Super Bowl team here. Playoff blizzard. Cowboys, Texas. Used to playing indoors. They ain't ready for prime time. I guarantee you. And edge threat elite. Rudy Roberts starting to look really, really good. It's unfortunate he didn't play more because he could have been, well, he would have been Isaiah Hodgins productive. You probably could just swap them out. But man, the development could have been big. Roberts could go from being an 81 right now to being, oh, I don't know, 84. I think it's reasonable. And we are up early. I've said that a lot because it's been true. It's 17-0 right now. We are cruising through this first game, but a lot of time left, even though we're up 31-7, to be a massive collapse that I don't think is going to be happening. Dallas can try as they might. It will not be enough. 40-7 is your final score line. Dominance in the playoffs. Not exactly a blizzard. Matt Mormon throws for nearly 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. And we're headed to the NFC Championship with home field advantage. Gotta love it. Conference Championship, Green Bay Packers, 86 overall. Again, Micah Parsons. Now, did we beat them last year? Surely we did because we made the Super Bowl. But was that last year or 2 years ago? I think it was last year. I think we ran through them. Actually, now that I think about it. I could see this being another easy win. Home field advantage this time around. Yeah, they have Micah Parsons, but who cares? Who cares? It's 14-0. 21-0. I like this. Packers ain't doing anything, dude. Although, have I spoken too soon? They're right back in it. Yep, it's 21-16. Fourth quarter now. A touchdown ends it probably. And there it is. 24-16. That is your final. We squeaked out. Packers made a good chance at a comeback there. Jared Goff, yeah, I think it was last year. We are headed back to the Super Bowl. Give me the Chiefs again. Let's see them. It's going to be Jacksonville. They've screwed me in this rebuild a little bit. Got Chris Godwin. Didn't like that. But it's going to be the Tom Coughlin Bowl. Jags, Giants. Debo up to superstar. He was star. Mormon with an upgrade. Likely didn't win MVP. Did win QB of the year, though, which is MVP, pretty much. So, a little bogus, in my opinion. I should have done field general, although we got short accuracy up anyway, which is what I was looking for. So, I'm actually happy we did improviser. I'll upgrade Evan Neal. This is the final look team, probably. Get a good look at it, guys. It is a juggernaut. It's time to show you what they're capable of and hoist the Lombardi for a 5th time in franchise history. Super Bowl time. We lose to the Jags, man. I'm not going to be able to take it. Here we go. Jags up early. 3-0, 10-0. Oh, not like this, dude. Not like this. Please. Figure it out. It's 17-3. It's 24-3. It's 31-3. What is happening? There's time. 31-17. Play defense. Play more offense. It's a touchdown game. 3rd and 9. We are jumping in. I think we can expect to pass here. Man coverage. Lock it down. Let's get pressure. Let's get pressure. Lawrence throwing sideline. Incomplete. They're going to punt. The improbable comeback is turning to reality. Whoever Goodwell is back to return. How do we want to play this? Probably should have let that be a touchback. Yep, now 100% should have. All right, let's see what we can do. Didn't have Deebo Samuel this time last year. That is the big difference. Now, I'll tell you, I'm considering going for 2. I've already convinced myself we're going to get the touchdown, and you guys know what number 12 can do in big games. Mario Manningham. Remember it well. Seeing Saquon, I want to call him Matt Breida with 31, dude. Love for Darren Waller to make a big play. It just signifies, kind of a new era of New York Giants football, right? I'm super worried that Darren Waller's not going to work out. I am. I really hope that it does, but I know there's a real chance he just doesn't stay healthy or doesn't work out. But man, it feels like it's part of a new era of Giants football. And we're going to take a shot to him. Deep down the field. Waller! How about a flag? There is no justice in this world. Only on the field. Check down. I'm ignoring the routes down the field. I'm not turning it over. But field goal range is not going to cut it. Need a touchdown, obviously. I already know we're going to get it. Because I'm at quarterback with Matt Mormon. It's happening. 38 seconds, 3 timeouts. It's plenty of time. It's plenty of time. I kind of wish Roberts was on the outside there. And it was, ooh, bad throw. And Justice was on, or excuse me, yeah, Roberts on the inside, Justice on the outside. I think that suits the skill set a little bit more. It's the same play. Definitely is. See, like, that would be a perfect play for Rudy Roberts. Instead, it's my big physical receiver as opposed to the slot guy. Now Justice is on the outside. We go quickly for Deebo, though. We do. Up the middle. Broken tackle. Deebo Samuel fighting down to the 1. I'm going to call a timeout. I was going to let it go. I don't want to risk it running down to, like, 11. And then I have, like, 2 plays, or 1 play instead of 2. Or 3. Running the ball. Saquon. Punch it in. We're stopped. I'm going to call a timeout. It's Darren Waller, man. It's always been Darren Waller. High point. Nope. Let Darren Waller be open. There it is. Touchdown. We've tied it. I'm really worried about our goal line offense, though. Do I go for 2? Yeah. When you can end it, you try to end it. And look at this defense. If I can't run the football on this, we don't deserve to win. Barkley up the middle. 2-point is successful. And we'll take the lead with 11 seconds to go. Let me go sky kick. Put some real air underneath this one. Force a return with no risk of a kickoff return touchdown. Because we give our coverage unit time to get down the field. 8 seconds. Safer than a squib kick in this game. I don't want them to get it on the 40 somehow and then quick out, timeout, and then field goal, we lose. Leave him open. Knock the football down. Oh my God. He's nearly to field goal range. Time expires. Doesn't matter. Game over. I think it was Evan Ingram, former Giant. I skipped the celebration. Doesn't matter. Super Bowl is ours. 5th in New York Giants franchise history. And that's going to do it for this rebuild, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already for more fun. Man, what a blast that was. And I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.